Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. This week I'm going to share with you great card ideas that you can make with one set of supplies from this month's kit. Today I'm sharing my fourth alternative card using the November 2023 Paper Pumpkin kit called Warm Wishes. This festive kit creates 8 treat boxes, 4 in 2 different designs. These are the intended projects that you can make with the kit. If you would like to watch me unbox this kit and create these boxes, or see any of my other alternative cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. As a side note, I have noticed that the tops of my treat boxes have popped open. If this is happening to you, you can use dimensionals to keep them closed. Make sure to add the dimensionals in an area that is free of glitter. So here is the base roof top, and I'm just going to place a couple dimensionals off to the side where there's no glitter. Go ahead and remove the paper backing and then pop that back on to that area there. This will give a little stronger hold because that tear and tape, I think, was placed where the glitter was. And then you can go ahead and slide your treat into the box. I'm going to do the same thing here to my blue house. 2 little dimensionals in some areas where there's no glitter. It can be close to the top of the roof or the bottom. Go ahead and remove that paper backing, and then you can place the roof over the top, just like that. And it should stay together. Those adhesives are really nice and strong. Today I am sharing a fun pull tab pop-up gift card holder idea. And as you can see, I used the add-on kit for cards and card bases. And so this is a little larger size, and I wanted to make sure it fit nicely into the envelope that's provided in the kit. And I'm going to give you all the details you need to make this cute card. But here is the pull tab and pop up. Look at how cute that is. It pops up. And then you can place a gift card inside this pull tab. And it just is easy to slide in to the card. And then of course you have a nice large area where you can send a Christmas message as well. So I'm going to show you today how to create this mechanism. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, you can click on the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see me use today, please visit my online store, and the link is below in the description. So before we begin cutting some stuff up, I want to show you the pack of Warm Wishes cards and envelopes. So you get all of the same card and envelope, and there are 20 of them, which is perfect for these treat boxes if you're planning on turning them into cards, because they are nice and large. The finished card size is 5 inches by 7 inches, and you get both the card bases and the envelopes. And I love this pattern that's on the envelope. So fun. So I wanted to use these in my card today. What I like about it is that if I was to cut it down to the 5.5 by 4 1/4 size, the size of this large brown red house would cover most of the card front. And so by having that larger 5 inch by 7 inches card base, we're getting some of these beautiful details like the night sky, these really fun Christmas trees with lights on the back, and then it fits the houses really nicely. So let's start. You're going to take one of those card bases, and if by chance you decide not to get this card pack, you can do these same techniques to get a pull tab pop-up card, okay? So it doesn't have to be on this card only. but it just works a little better because there's a little more space. But you can do the exact same thing on a smaller card base. So let's start by cutting it in half, and the half is 5 inches. Yes, 5 inches. So I can go ahead and just put the left edge on the 5-inch mark and cut that down the middle. I'm going to save the back piece for another fun card, alternative card. It's probably going to be my last one that I share this week. And I'm going to work on the front, but you could easily do the same thing on the back if you want to. And what I need to do is I need to make 2 slits that are right in the middle of the card that are just about 1 inch apart. So because this is 5 inches and we're going to subtract the 1-inch track, that means I have 4 inches left. So if I divide that in half, I'm going to use 2 inches on each side is where I'm going to measure to place that cut line. If you're using a smaller card base, then go ahead and take the width of your card base or the card front, subtract 1 inch, and then divide the rest in half. And that's where you're going to measure to cut your track. That's what we need, is a track to be able to slide this up and down. So another thing that I need to think about is where I want to place the house, because my track needs to be right below my house. So if I want my house up higher, then I need to cut it so that it's up higher. So this particular card, I'm going to bring it down about 2.5 inches from the top and then about 1 inch from the bottom. So measure at 2 inches if you're using the larger card base. Place your cutting blade in the middle. You're going to cut up to 2.5 inches, and you can kind of eyeball that. I'm kind of having a hard time seeing where my 2.5 inch, there it is. So it's right about there, and then down to 1 inch above the bottom of my card base. So that would be 6 inches. Okay. And then you can either slide it over to 3 inches because I'm just adding the 1 inch for the track, or you can rotate. I'm going to just slide it over to 3 inches and do the exact same thing. So cut up to 2.5 inches and then down to 6 inches. And this is going to give me a 1 inch track. Here you can see it, with 2 inches on each side. So I know that it's right in the middle. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my card base. So I am going to put this on the front of a card base of just plain basic white cardstock. And the reason for this is so that it's not too thick and it still will fit inside the envelopes that came in the kit. So I'm going to open up the arm and I am going to cut 7 inches. So this is the 8.5 inch side of my card base, and that's going at the top of my paper trimmer. I'm going to measure at 7 inches. Then I'm going to rotate and cut at 10 inches. Then I'm going to slide my cutting blade to the top and I will score at 5 inches. And this will give me that nice big card base. You can go ahead and fold along that score line if you'd like. With these scrap pieces that I just removed from that piece of cardstock, I am going to cut the mechanism that I need for the back here. This piece here is about 1 inch, and I want it to just be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to cut it down to 15/16, so just 1/16 smaller. This will help it fit and go smoothly through the track. Okay, so that is 15/16 of an inch, and I don't know, about 8.5 inches. Oh no, that's 7 inches. The length doesn't really matter as long as it is longer than my house. Okay. With this one, we are going to cut a 1/2 inch strip. And again, the length doesn't really matter. So 1/2 inch here. Okay. And this piece is probably too big. I'm going to go ahead and just cut it to 4 inches. Okay, so I have now a 1/2 inch by 4 inch piece. And both of those pieces that I've cut come from the scraps from the card base. So if you decide to use a different color card base, then you can, these don't have to be white, but they do work a little bit better with that thinner cardstock. And that basic white cardstock is a little bit thinner. So the last piece of cardstock that we need is this bottom piece here that's holding our gift card, the piece that we pull out. So we need this to be able to hold the gift card. So we want the width of this piece to be larger than that card. And this gift card here is just slightly over 2 inches. So I'm going to go with a piece that's about 2 1/4 inches in width. And again, the length of it doesn't really matter as long as it is longer than the house. So I've got a piece that's 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. You just want to make sure that it fits that gift card, just like that. Okay. All right, so now we have all of our pieces and we can start putting this mechanism together. So the first step is to take your 1/2 inch strip and you're going to slide it so that it is on top of the 1 inch middle section and slide it all the way to the top. Okay, so it's like this. On the back side, which I hope you can see, we are going to fold over the ends so that they overlap in the middle. And it's okay if it's not tight. You do want it to be a little loose because this is going to go up and down the track. So here you can see how I folded over one side. You need to make sure that it's loose enough that it can go up and down. And then you're going to fold over the other side and cut off any excess. I'm going to use liquid glue, but you need to be careful with liquid glue that it doesn't come out and make a sticky mess everywhere. So I am just adding it to the center. Can you see that okay? Let's see. Maybe there. So just the center of that strip so that when these two come together, I don't have any squishing out and making a mess. And this is all done on the back of this track. So you want to make sure that this track moves easily up and down, which it does not want to do right now. There we go. Okay, so it moves up and down nice and easy. I'm just holding it on the sides. Okay, if it doesn't move up and down, snip it off and do it again. You just need to make sure it moves. Okay, you're now going to move it all the way up to the top and let it sit there. So you next need to cut a little opening for the pull tab. Okay, and I decided to attach a little ribbon to make it easier to kind of pull it in and out. So I used a circle punch. Any size will do. I've got the 2 3/8 inch punch here. And you're just going to make a mark where the center is. So this is, we need 2 1/2 inches on each side. And then just make a mark on that center line so that when you punch it, you're trying to make sure that it's just in the middle. So make sure that you have an even space on both sides. So something like that. Doesn't need to be perfect. Then on the back, we are going to lay the piece of cardstock, the colored piece. This is Old Olive. Again, it's 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And you're going to lay this down somewhere in the middle. You want to make sure that you cover up this opening here. So you don't want to make this too wide that it's bigger than your cardstock. And if it is, then just cut another piece of cardstock that's wider. So go ahead and place that in the middle over that. And then we're going to create a dimensional track on both the left and right side of this piece of cardstock. So you can do this with either size of dimensionals. I have these little minis. So what you're going to look for is that straight edge of dimensional to go against the straight edge of the card base. And start down one side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so if they're not perfect, if the straight edge is a little crooked, that's okay. It doesn't need to sit right next to the card stock. If there's a little movement, that's okay too. You're just needing to create a border so that this old olive piece doesn't actually move around too much. Okay. If you want, you can also put some at the top for support and kind of as a little stopper. You can also use the edge of the dimensionals. That works too. This is also going to hold your gift card in place because you're not adding adhesive to your gift card unless you want to. You can place some adhesive on there to hold it down, but anyway, it's going to look something like that. You can see that it's not perfect. They're not the same amount on either side, just that it moves in and out. Okay. Should move in and out smoothly. Okay, once that's in place, we're going to adhere this track middle piece to our old olive piece. So place a little adhesive on this, just again in the center, and then add your old olive. I don't think it really matters which way, back into your track. And make sure it's exactly where you want it, because once it's adhered, it won't move. And it's really important that you add it with that middle track all the way up to the top. If you don't, then it will not work properly, okay? So this needs to be all the way to the top. And then once that is dry, you should be able to pull and move this piece should move up and down that track by pulling on the old olive piece. Do you see that happening? Okay. So once that's there, let's go ahead and add this to our card base. So I think all of that mechanism is ready to go. So place some more dimensionals around the edge so that it is supported. And then you're going to take the paper off of all of those, and I'll be right back. Now you can take your card base that we cut, and you're going to make sure that that old olive piece stays in place. So hold it down as you line up the corners on the front of that card base. Here, I'm going to place some red underneath so I can see that corner a little better. So start on one side and then come to the other side. I'm still holding that old olive piece in place, and just make sure that everything lines up nicely. Okay, just like that. And then again, test your mechanism. Every time you do something new, test to make sure it's working. Okay, so it should go all the way from the top to the bottom. Just like that, nice and smooth. So now we have our piece. This is the one that's just slightly smaller than 1 inch. So it's 15/16 of an inch, and we are going to attach it underneath this thing. You could also attach it to the top. Either one, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do underneath it. Okay, so I'm going to place a little liquid glue, again, right in the center. Doesn't need a lot. Can you see where that glue is? There we go, right in the center. And then you're going to slide it underneath, and just so that the two tops match. You want to make sure that it's nice and straight, and it should fit in that 1 inch space, so it's not angled. Okay, just like that. Okay, so you see how we have attached that now. So now we're going to take our house and go ahead and place your house where you want it. So the door is, I'm placing it like right in the middle where that strip is. And you can go at any height except for it cannot go past the track because we cut that area. So here are my track lines. Do you see those little cuts? So it needs to be below that. So maybe right around here, I think. So just find where you want to place it. Then you're going to take your piece, your track, fold it up so that you see the fold line. So your green old olive piece needs to be all the way in, and you're going to fold along that track line just like that. And then you're going to cut, I don't know, about, so there's a 1/2 inch or so of cardstock showing above that fold line. Then you'll take it and actually fold it the opposite direction. And you're going to attach this to your card base with a little liquid glue again, or whatever strong adhesive. We just need strong adhesive. Okay. Make sure it fits inside that track. You don't want it to come out of that track. Okay. You guys starting to see how this happens? So now when we pull the green tab, we're going to get a loop. Okay. Just like that. So go ahead and put your house back on. You want to put it so it just barely touches that fold line, just barely covers. Maybe you even see a little bit of it at the bottom. Okay. And you want to just add a little adhesive again to the bottom. Can you see the little bit of liquid glue I've added there? And then go ahead and place your house on top in the center. Okay. Once everything is dry, you can go ahead and test it. Nice there, right there. Okay, so pull your green card base. If it's not pulling out, you can just kind of push it down for now, and then it should pop. Okay. And you can pull more, it's just the house is going to fall over. But that's how you make one of those pop up. And then we can create our little gift card holder by sliding in our gift card here. Okay. Just like that. Super cute. So let's go ahead and make our pull tab next. For me, I wanted something that could be a little loose so that when it's in the envelope, it's flush so that it can come in and out of the envelope easily. And to do that, I thought of just a piece of linen thread, especially since that came in the kit. So go ahead and pull that piece out just a little bit and get a small hole punch, and just somewhere in the middle, punch a hole. And you want it to be close to the edge so that you see it when it is all closed. And you don't have a lot of space there. So, okay. Then you're going to take some linen thread. I'm just going to use 6 inches. I've already created a little pull tab, and this is actually a new stamp. It comes from the Hooray for Surprises stamp set. This is a new product in the upcoming January through April mini catalog. And you can see here that we've got the little pull. And so I was able to pre-order this because I am a demonstrator, and I stamped it just in Mossy Meadow ink and cut out a little tab, like a tag for my pull. And if by chance you don't have something like this, you can just write the word pull. It doesn't need to be a stamp, but I did think it was super cute since I already had that as an option. I'm going to go ahead, string all those things together, and tie a bow. Okay, so we've got our little pull tab. This makes it really easy for me to kind of grab onto those. I can either grab onto the bow and pull it out, or I can grab onto the pull it out. Okay, so it's much easier than trying to grab that little piece of cardstock that's in there. It also will kind of help hold my gift card in place. I can slide that in there, and then it kind of will stop it from coming out by adding that little stopper there. Oh, you can't see it very well, sorry. So like that. Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to do is just add a couple little things to the front of the house. A greeting, and then one of the wreaths from the kit. You can add them to the windows if you have a lot of them left over. I've just popped on a little dimensional there and add it to the door. And then I have this special delivery stamped on some basic white cardstock. This is a 1/2 inch strip, and then I cut it down and flagged the ends. And then with dimensionals, I'm just going to pop it right in the center on those windows on the top of the house. And then I can just pull and have it come out, and then whoever is receiving my cute little gift card can pull the gift card right out of there. And I just think it's such a fun card. Something fun that you can do with those large house boxes. If you're not into making treat boxes, you can turn them into these fun cards. And you can include a picture or a nice greeting inside. You could print your family newsletter and make them really quickly. And I just really hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card today. If you're interested in seeing written instructions or getting close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, you can do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.